academic systems.
From the very beginning at the Public Education Foundation and working with Hamilton County Schools, we've decided we want more and more of our students to reach advanced. To score proficient, you need to have mastery of basic skills. To score advanced, it requires really critical thinking, making connections to other knowledge you have, asking hard questions, and thinking beyond simply knowing that the American Revolution started in 1776, which is a simple fact. It's knowing the causes of what started the revolution. It's understanding, not just being able to do a math problem, but understanding how to apply that in the real world.
The standards do not necessarily need to be harder. They need to be more rigorous. And the delivery of those standards to our student population needs to be more in-depth of the skills necessary for students to understand the complexity of mathematics, for example. Just adding more and more work on students is not the idea, but to go more in-depth, because we're saying that just to be proficient, that is not sufficient for what we want to accomplish with our students. So part of that will mean that we'll have to do training with teachers to make sure teachers understand the level of complexity of mathematics. We'll move standards that would normally be taught, say, in 8th grade, will be moved down to 7th, 6th, or maybe even to 5th grade. That's what we're looking at when we increase the standards. So by the time students get into high school, their skill level will be higher than what it is currently.
We have to teach our students not facts, because the facts aren't enough anymore. It's how do you gather the information and how do you use the information. And that's really what we're working with teachers every day, so that they are well equipped to prepare students for jobs that we don't even know the names of yet.
We have started staff development programs with our teachers, staff development programs with our administrators, so that we will not be caught off guard necessarily when the standards go into place.
One of the things that is going to happen now, when we raise standards, we're going to find schools don't measure up as well as we have been telling you they measure up. When we raise the bar, which I believe has been too low, we're going to find more schools that need more work in order to achieve that new level of expectation. States that are more aligned with national standards tend to have more failing schools or need improvement schools, whatever, however you want to view it.
We will probably see a slight dip in achievement scores.
It's a little bit like if you're a baseball player and you're in a field that has short walls, you hit a lot of home runs. All of a sudden you go to a different field with a much bigger playing field. The walls are much further back. What used to be home runs are just long fly balls, or if you're lucky, maybe a double. So I think what we're going to see is, as we set these higher standards, that the scores may come back down. And I think there are two reactions the public can have. One would be to say, this is terrible. Our schools are failing, the scores are going down. That would be an unfortunate response in my view. A better response would be, this is important news. It says that we need to redouble our efforts so our students meet a rigorous national standard, because our children, the next generation, is not going to be competing for jobs just in Tennessee. They're going to be competing for jobs across the nation and around the world.
When we make it harder, we'll have more schools that don't do as well. And an informed public, and every person in this room, I would suggest, has a responsibility to be part of this conversation. When we report those data, in 2010, after the new standards take effect, and we see schools that are not measuring up, there's going to be a tendency of folks to say, look, we wasted all this money and we're doing worse than we've ever done before. But what it will be, by and large, is we're expecting more from ourselves than we have ever expected before, and we're shooting at the target we ought to shoot at. And until we do that, it's going to be awful hard for us to achieve what we need to achieve.
That's the goal, is to have students involved in a more rigorous curriculum. We could see a dip in assessment scores, but over the next couple of years you see those scores start to rise. But even as they rise, they should be much higher than what they were with the previous standards.
I'm one who thinks raising standards is a very important, very good thing, and I think it's going to really help in the long term. It's going to help our children, our state, our economy, our businesses. Short term, maybe some bumps, but I'm convinced Hamilton County has been working on this already for a while. We're working hard with teachers. I think a lot of people will surprise us with the good results, and we're well on the way to helping those who struggle as the standards are raised.
We hope you enjoyed this PEF podcast of Voices of School Success. To be notified of future podcasts and other information on Hamilton County Public School reform, sign up for the PEF email newsletter at www.pefchattanooga.org.